They say games are played on the field and not on paper, and that's a good thing. Because if this one were played on paper, it might get ugly. But you never know what's going to happen. Welcome to Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, home of the Ole Miss Rebels. As we'll see a squad from the Sun Belt, the Old Dominion Monarchs, taking on the 18th ranked team in the land, the Ole Miss Rebels. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we are ready to tee it up. And the Monarchs will put toe to leather and we'll get started. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. The Rebels offense will get first crack at it today. And they're going to be met by one of the best defenses in the nation, David. And I know seeing a defense doing what they want, when they want to do it, makes you a happy man.
Well, defense is starting to make a comeback. Like, I'm excited about this new era of football. Like, we're seeing better tackling and we're seeing better coverage than we were a couple years ago. And this defense is fun to watch them on tape, fun to talk to their coaches. Jesse, this defense has been consistent all year long.
And they're dialed in and they're so talented. They've got multiple NFL draft picks on that side of the football, and they don't have to change a lot week to week. This defense dominates. They do what they do, and they don't care if you know it. You can't do anything against them.
Pulls it and fires to the left. That'll be good enough for a first down. They'll mark it out. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Back to pass, it's Simmons. Right down the middle. Got him downfield. And he's to the 48-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down. You know, you think back on the Jackson Dart era at Ole Miss, the best 3-year run in more than 50 years. Now Austin Simmons steps in, full of potential, Jesse, to lead the Rebels to further glory.
Quarterbacks have played so well under Lane Kiffin in recent years. You can even go ahead of Jackson Dart back to Matt Corral and what he was doing in that offense. So now the lefty takes over.
Catch inside the 25. And this offense is feeling it as they rip off a big chunk of yardage, and they've got it on the 22.
Man, what makes this offense so difficult to defend is they've got receivers that have speed and that can separate. On the first drive of the game, they found a soft spot in the middle of the field, and they took advantage.
The Rebels have it with a 1st and 10. Motion from the wide receiver. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Not in lockstep there with the receiver.
Well, I know that one falls incomplete, but as the head coach, you've got to still love what you've seen from your quarterback early in this game. He's been accurate, in a great rhythm. To start the game 4 for 5, that's pretty good.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. From the gun to give, looking for room. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
That back had absolutely nowhere to run the football. Actually, is he counting? I think he's counting to make sure there's only 11 guys on defense.
Let's see what they've dialed up on 3rd and long from the 22. They want to run it left here. They knock him down right at the 20-yard line. Not enough for the first down, but maybe they'll keep the offense on the field. Now on 4th down, here comes the field goal team. From the left hash, he'll try to bend in a 37-yarder. Right down the boulevard. It's good. And the first points of the day come on that field goal.
This is a team that really prides themselves on starting fast. We've seen that before, and here they are playing at home today. Nice job on the opening drive. Lots of poise, good emotion. They don't get the touchdown they would have liked, but they kick a nice field goal. They've got the lead. Head coach has to be happy though.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. So the Old Dominion Monarchs offense will get the ball for the first time. But Jesse, it's always fun to see a guy who's been challenged, see if he can answer the bell and get things done.
Well, we talked to him this week, and he knows that people are out there questioning him. I think that leaves a big chip on his shoulder, David. He wants to prove to the entire college football world he's got what it takes to win this football game. This is a big test for him.
And here's the thing. Proving it is one thing, Jesse, but it's not about you. And this is a team game. Obviously, the quarterback position is so dependent on others' success, but play within yourself, make those plays, don't make the big mistakes.
Line getting set on second down. They'll run play action. Caught in the backfield, it's Butler. He's there to make the stop, and they threw it in reverse, losing yardage on that play.
So many playmakers, so much speed in college football, so many big plays after the catch. Not in this instance. The defense did a great job reacting to the throw, getting there in a hurry, and making sure he didn't get any yards after that catch.
On third and long, he has to throw for it. Intercepted, and the defense has set him up. Takes it the other way. Touchdown, Ole Miss! The defense putting points on the board. This D gave them exactly what they needed, not only with a stop, but with a touchdown.
Yeah, and finding ways to impact the game early in the game, just make impact plays, right? The defense wants to create sacks, create turnovers. Great job creating the turnover and getting points off of it.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Gonna run it. It's Roach. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Great job by the defense. Everybody firing off the ball, hitting their guys, holding their gaps, running to the football, nowhere to go.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Now the play fake. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12.
This is not the start this guy envisioned in this game. He's already thrown a pick six here in the first quarter, and now he takes a sack. You got to wonder if that pick six rattled him a little bit. And if he's out here now seeing ghosts, he's got to get to the sidelines. He's got to shake the cobwebs off. You've got to be able to turn the page and have a short memory, because this thing is signal call.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Rush is on him. Caught in the backfield, it's Butler. He works his way to the 21-yard line. Not enough to pick.
You got to love that. You're going to get the ball back. Go get some water and so.
They'll snap it from the 37 for the first play of this drive. Looking to pass, it's Simmons. Snags it over the middle. They've got it to the 49-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
It's a nice job running the in route there by the receiver, and the best thing he did after he made his break, he didn't trail and fade away. He actually attacked the football. That's a good lesson for young receivers out there watching.
It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line. Wants to throw on first down. Wide open downfield. Make the stop at the 40, but it's a 10-yard gain and a fresh set of downs.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver. And you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
Wants to go up top on first down. And the Heat gets home. They knock him down back at the 45.
And how about the strong safety on that blitz? Great job timing it and also getting to the quarterback. Sometimes you're going to have to negotiate around tight ends and running backs, and that strong safety, he just beelined into the backfield.
And the Rebels with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Off play action. Looking to the big tight end. A strike downfield. What a play there, and he rips off a big one all the way to the 16-yard line.
Man, this offense is so dangerous, Reese. They've got dudes all over the field that can make plays. There's a big gainer in the pass game.
You get a chunk of yards like that, now the defense is really on its heels. The Rebels come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Quarterback on the keeper. He's dragged down at the 12 as they try to cash in on this red zone opportunity.
And that's exactly what the defense wants you to do. Go east-west, and the quarterback gets strung out, doesn't pull the trigger and really make a decision. You'd like to see him stick his foot in the ground, get north-south, get more of a plus yardage on this play. Nice job by the defense.
They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. Wrestled down at the 8-yard line as they threaten deep in the red zone. Boy, they'd love to pick up this conversion and go to work with a 1st and goal. The give on the option. They thought they could just run it on 3rd and short, but this defense was there to make the stop.
And, man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground. That is a baller.
They'll try to get something out of this drive and kick the field goal here on 4th down. Just drives it between the uprights. And that will extend their lead even further.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
So after the last drive ended with a field goal, the kickoff team out there to send it away. And he takes this from inside the 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. They'll start this drive from the 18-yard line. Going right to work up top. And he just flat dropped it. I think he wanted to run before he secured it.
Well, I think the ball just got on the receiver so quickly. He took his time working his route. By the time he got his head around, the ball was already there, and he just wasn't able to stab it.
What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? Trying play action. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down.
We're already in the 1st quarter, but already you get the feeling this could be a long day for this QB. He's already been sacked. He gets hit right there on the incomplete throw. They've got to find a way to do a better job up front of protecting this guy, or it's going to be difficult to put up points.
He's going to have to throw for it. Oh, man, another incompletion. That's 3 in a row.
And I think on that last play, that's an example of the quarterback trying to predetermine who he wants to throw to, and instead of letting the defense dictate who gets the ball. Man coverage, that guy was not open that time out on the perimeter of the field. Still, he gave him a chance, but that thing had incompletion written all over it from the moment the ball left his hand.
That's usually prime return position, but he'll make the fair catch just outside the 40. Good field position here as they start this drive from their 43. Throws to the wideout. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on 1st down. 2nd down coming. They're dealing with with a 2nd and long. The play action fake. And the quarterback runs out of time, and down he goes at the 38.
The defense just simply not fooled by the play action. Oftentimes as an offense, you're hoping the run fake's going to slow down those pass rushers, but man, oh man, they had their ears pinned back.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. To the ground with the back. He is not going to get there. Stopped short of the line to gain, and it'll be 4th down.
And what's the closest guy to the football, man? It's those defensive tackles, and those guards and centers have to work together. They got to get those guys and get some movement. They don't on this play, and the big fella eats. Nowhere to go. When you run into him, you usually meet the ground.
Kick is in the air. Nice job to make the fair catch at the 16. Make sure that ball didn't bounce into the coffin corner. We'll see what they can do on this drive that starts at the 16-yard line. He'll do it himself. Breaks into the open. And he gets out of there and gets some yardage and gets down without taking any punishment.
This is an offense that can move the sticks in a whole lot of different ways. Now you're seeing it on the option here. Great job by the quarterback. Reading the defense, there's nobody there taking him, so he puts his foot in the ground, he gets upfield, and he's got really nice elusiveness once he's out in the open field. He shows you that on that explosive play, picking up the first.
That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
Well, that guy is so quick coming out of his stance. Do you see how fast he got to the ball carrier? Get that tackle for loss? Wow.
The Monarchs trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit.
In football, you hear the term quick but don't hurry. And you can tell when you run these RPOs, the QBs want to make that decision quick. And I think he hurried it a little bit too much, got the ball out quick, but obviously was inaccurate in his pass.
The Land Sharks circling, crowd getting this defense whipped up on 3rd down. He's looking to throw. Going to try to pop one on the screen. And it's pretty obvious there was a big hole in that screen, and the defense ran right through it.
Well, they try to spit it out to the running back on the perimeter of the field. You saw the speed and recognition by the defense, though, how quickly they were able to get to the back and get him down for a big loss.
Punt is on its way. Makes the signal, secures the fair catch, and they'll put it in play at the 37. First play of the drive comes from the 38. From the gun, the running back has it. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Don't you love energetic defenses that fly around, that make things happen? The ones that get in the backfield, the running back tries to go somewhere. Where do you want him to go? There is nowhere to go. Nice job by the defense, creating the tackle for a loss on 1st down.
Out of the gun, the running back has it. Knocked down behind the line of scrimmage, he'll lose a yard.
That play had 0 shot. They got to do a better job up front, creating some running lanes. The running back, before he could go anywhere, getting tackled, nowhere to go.
And the Rebels need their binoculars to find that line to gain here on 3rd down. He'll pull it on the read. Look out, he's got room. Oh, he just avoided taking a big hit with the slide.
I don't know about the play call there. 3rd and long, and you're going option, and the defense, give them credit. They took everything away. The quarterback had to keep it himself. Defense is fine, giving up a couple of yards, but that's all you're going to get against the athleticism they have on that side of the football. I think that was a play the offense should have thrown it.
They punted away on 4th down. Makes the catch, wants to make a move upfield. Was looking for more running room and found nothing but more tacklers. He's down at the 24. He'll keep it himself. Not much working there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
They go with the option. Quarterback keeps it himself. And look, we've seen this guy on tape, guys, break these tackles and take it the distance. This offense should keep dialing up these option plays. Don't let that short gain by the QB prevent you from running this scheme in your playbook.
Second down, he'll throw it. Got it in the middle, it's Butler. And he's got enough for the first down. They'll mark it at the 34.
Yeah, and I love running my tight ends across the formation. Just big targets that I can find a way to get the football to. Nice snag, nice little positive gain for my offense.
They've got a 1st and 10 at the 34. Use the play fake, now to throw. Grabbed behind the line, it's Roach. Great pickup as they'll keep this drive moving, and they've got it at the 45.
Well, it's a nice play design there. You're getting the running back involved in the pass game. Quarterback gives it to him early so he can go to work upfield and get the first down.
And the Monarchs will snap it on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. Catch in the middle, it's Lott. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few.
That's a good job by the drag route there, understanding its zone coverage. So instead of continuing to run across the field, he settles down into an open spot, making it easy for his quarterback.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. Looking to fire. It's complete to the left. They stop him at the 42, but they get it across midfield, pick up 10 and the first down.
And first down for the offense.
Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
Yeah, when you get penetration by that defense right away, and there's no way to cut at all for that back, he gets destroyed right away. No way that play was going to be successful. Way too much penetration.
The Monarchs now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. Rides to back and leaves it. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. A big 3rd down coming, and hotty-toddy, gosh almighty, this crowd is ready. From the gun, wants to pass. He puts a lot of air under it down the sideline. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down.
DB does an outstanding job here on the deep pass, locating the football. No PI, able to swat it away, pass incomplete.
And the Monarchs line up to punt it away. Going to make sure he doesn't get a return on this one as the punt bounces out of bounds. They'll be able to get off one more play before quarter's end. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. And that falls incomplete as they tried to wrap up the first quarter with a bang, but the incomplete pass takes us to the 2nd quarter. We've come to the end of the period, and Ole Miss is on top. They came out and jumped on them early in the first. Let's take a break and look at the first quarter stats. This could be a pivotal moment in this game as we open the 2nd period and they try to find a way to answer. Had a chance to talk it over during the break, and they'll start with 2nd down. Looking for a man, it's Simmons. Unloads to the wideout. Complete to the right. Really good job making a play, getting it out to the 24 and moving those chains.
When you run those routes, those curl routes just like that, those DBs are going to break when you go to throw the football. So you better put that thing on a line, and the QB did there. Put it on a line, great job, great catch, 1st down.
They'll send the back in motion. Off play action on 1st down. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
Man, this offense, they gotta find something. They gotta get in a rhythm somehow. So far, no success, not protecting the quarterback. Really, the only good thing I can say so far is they haven't turned the football over.
This pass rush has just been relentless, and you can bet your bottom dollar they're about to bring the heat again. They'll go to work in the air on second down. Just missed his man, gave him just a little too much.
Well, this offense really is putting themselves behind the 8 ball right now on this drive. Sack first down, you've just thrown an incompletion, so third in California. Defense knows you're probably going to throw it. What can you dial up here?
The Rebels need a massive chunk play to move the sticks here on third down. Leaves it with the back. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And I really don't understand the play call. Palmer, like third and long, and they're not trusting their quarterback. Does this say something about their quarterback moving forward? We'll get to that as the game progresses. But, man, I just think you got to trust your quarterback, and you got to pass the football on third and long.
And the Rebels will punt it away on fourth down. Fair catch is brought in at the 43, and they are set up nicely. First snap of this drive comes from their own 44. From the shotgun, they'll run it. And you want to talk about gang tackling. Everybody on the defense run to the ball.
It's definitely too early to panic, but there's some bad feelings going on for this offense right now. You're way down on the scoreboard. I know we're still in the first half, but after that last play, it's pretty obvious. You can't run the ball. You're becoming a one-dimensional offense at a time when you need to be able to score some points. So either get it done through the air or you've got to be more physical up front.
Had to get rid of it quickly.
And I like the job by this defense. Seeing the play action, reading it, reacting to run, then you got to convert to a pass rush. They do a really good job of it. Get to the quarterback and hit him as he's throwing the football.
Wow, this offense is just stuck in the run. They've already punted 4 times, and it's third down now. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires to the wideout. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Monarchs! Quick strike touchdown comes out and jump-starts the offense.
And, man, we see this in college football, so much explosiveness and firepower, and we get high-scoring game after high-scoring game, and it looks like we're on pace for one of those right now.
PAT unit on the field. And it's up and good as they draw just a touch closer. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And the final 53 yards coming courtesy of that touchdown pass. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. On the move from inside his 5. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Looking for a man. It's Simmons. Catch in the middle. It's Lee. Good call, good execution as they move the chains, and they have a first down at the 38.
That receiver found the open space in the zone coverage, and as a defense, honestly, you just throw your hands up on that because they covered it pretty well. It was just a good play call and really nice execution.
It's 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Use the play fake, now to throw. Grabbed over the middle, it's dribbling. Nice pickup there, gets him the first down and sets him up at the 45-yard line.
And this has got to be so demoralizing for this defense right now, having given up multiple first downs on this drive. Somebody on defense has to step up, make a play, and stop the bleeding.
They've crossed midfield at the 45 with a 1st and 10. Looking downfield on first down. Got his man downfield. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be second and just a few breaths away from the first down. The Rebels come to the line. This situation, you might see a shot play. Off the play fake. Fires to the big fella. Finds a crease at the 20. What a play there, and he rips off a big one all the way to the 16-yard line.
My goodness, this offense has got it rolling. They might put up a 50 burner. This defense, they don't have any answers right now. They're going to have to figure something out.
And the Rebels have it with a 1st and 10. From the red zone, he's going to throw it. Caught over the middle. It's Lee. That completion will take them inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
My old coach said you'll never go broke taking a profit. Take what's there, take the positive yards, and never complain.
Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the 1st down without getting it into the end zone. Running back searching for a hole. Didn't get much done on that run. He'll fight his way out and maybe pick up a yard.
Well, they're trying to run the football there, just nowhere to go. They got dominated up front at the point of attack.
They'd love to pick up this 3rd down and get a fresh set with 1st and goal. On 3rd and short, they'll go to the power running game. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a 3rd down stop.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country.
Takes a hit as he fires. Touchdown, Rebels! Quick strike through the air for the score.
Nice job by the quarterback, hanging in the pocket, hanging in there. He knew he was going to take a lick. He took the lick, delivered a strike, and got the score.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point is good. 76 yards on the drive for the touchdown. And they cap things off with a 9-yard touchdown pass. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. They'll get this drive going from the 17. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. Gives it on the option. After the pickup of 9, it's 2nd and 1.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on 1st down, man, you are doing just that.
The Monarchs can play this 2nd down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. They'll run play action. Throws to the wideout. Snagged in the middle. It's Lott. And an explosive play. Has him on the move, and he gets it all the way to the 48-yard line.
Man, if I'm a defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
They'll try the run. And a good, solid pickup there before the defense knocks him down.
You want to make play calling easy for an offensive coordinator? Run the ball like that every play. I mean, when you can run that on 1st down and set up a short yardage on 2nd down, it makes play calling easy. Every single call on that sheet is available here on 2nd down.
2nd down, they'll go to the air. Caught near the sticks. It's Lott. They finally get him on the ground, but he's got an explosive play for the 1st down.
And this is what's so great about play action. The run fake sucks those linebackers up, and it just creates so much more space for these receivers to operate. Beautiful execution by the offense.
And the Monarchs down the field. They're looking to pass from the red zone. Makes the grab. Now the connection takes it to the 11.
Well, it's a nice job by the defender. They're closing the gap with the wide receiver. They're going to complete the hitch pass, but he's able to run right up on him, get him to the ground for a minimal gain.
Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. The give, and he's looking for room behind the left tackle. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
Goodness gracious, that is the way you blow up a play, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Hair on fire caused a wreck that had to be a blown assignment. The Land Sharks circling, crowd getting this defense whipped up on third down. Setting up the screen. And that did not work. Defense smelled that one out from the beginning.
And man, that is not the third down execution you want. Trying to get it to a playmaker so he can make plays. He gets nowhere, actually loses yards, and brings up a fourth down now.
Here comes the field goal unit as they'll try to get the 3. And this one only 35 yards out, but not straight away. This one from the left hash. Field goal is good. That cuts into this deficit. It's now 20-10. After that last field goal drive, they're set to kick it away. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. This drive opens up at the 23-yard line. Off the play fake on first down to throw. The short hands, it's Lee.
The defense has their hands full trying to stop this guy in the slot. They're going to have to figure something out to bracket him, try and get 2 bodies around him, maybe get some safety help as well, because right now they do not have the answer for this guy.
The Rebels in a good spot here with second and short. The run from the shotgun. He stopped after getting a yard out to the 30.
And sticking to the run. I'll tell you what, a lot of teams that are really good are really stubborn, and they continue to run the football even with little success. So this offense is going to continue to focus on running the football, you can tell.
And the Rebels come to the line on third and short, trying to convert here. Wants to throw. It's Simmons. Finds his man. He'll have enough to move the chains. It's first down at the 38.
I mean, this offense basically lined up and said, I don't care if you double team him, triple team him, it really doesn't matter. We're still going to feature him. And guess what happens? They still get the first down, even though he was double teamed.
The Rebels have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Quickly out on the screen to the wide receiver. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there.
Ooh, and that was close for the offense. They try to go wide receiver screen. They're counting on that receiver beating that defender. Wasn't able to make him miss that time, but if I'm on offense, I'm going back to that play later.
Now on second down. Quarterback on the keeper. Creating some space, getting just enough good blocking, and they've got it up to the 47-yard line.
You know, this zone replay is something they rep over and over and over in practice. This guy can run it and execute it in his sleep. Good decision there keeping the football.
And the Rebels line up, trying to move the sticks on third and short. They'll try to get the first through the air. And this is going to be incomplete on third.
Defense did a great job. Third and short on the opponent's side of the field. They're expecting quick throw. Everybody, they dug their heel on the ground. They're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
The Rebels will line up to punt it away. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one. Fair catch is made at the 15-yard line, and that's where they'll start this drive. A lot of work to do as this drive will start from the 16-yard line. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Finds his man. It's locked. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain.
It's so nice as a quarterback when you got a guy like that working for you in the slot. He has such a good feel to find the open spaces in the defense. Just makes life so much easier for his quarterback.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Going with the counter play here. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
They're trying to run the football, and there's just nowhere to go for the ball carrier inside. He tried to bounce it to the outside. That linebacker way too fast. He met him there and forced the TFL.
When you've already set your punt around 4 times, at least he knows he's going to get his varsity letter, and his leg might get a bigger workout if they don't convert. On 3rd down, going up top. Makes the catch. There he goes. Gets it to the 42-yard line, and that's a 1st down.
Well, look, that wasn't a touchdown, but that was a massive play for this offense. They needed some momentum. They needed to find a rhythm, and what better way than converting on 3rd down. Awesome job by the quarterback getting through his progression.
The RPO fired complete to the left. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
I know a lot of people are going to look at that play and say, man, that was a bad play. Didn't gain any yards. But that could be the offense maybe setting something up. The play caller is going to remember that last play. He's going to remember how the defense reacted to it, made a quick tackle. They might pump that throw and then hit another player vertically down the field for an explosive play down the line. Just keep that in mind.
And just a short, safe pass play, they pick up a few. He's just winning that matchup in the slot every time.
And when you put him in the slot, Reese, he's closer to the quarterback. It's an easier throw. We can run in, we can run out, and really take advantage of his versatility of the guy in that slot position.
A big 3rd down coming, and Hottie top. Gonna look downfield again. And that all over him, knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up.
Well, the defense finally has figured it out. That was critical for their confidence because they had been scored on earlier. They had given up a ton of yards. I think they understood the gravity of the situation. 3rd down, that was critical for them to get off the field, build momentum, build some confidence. Nice job that time by the defense.
Now on the return. And the punt team able to swing him to the ground. Plenty of time left in the half here as they take over, but they will want to be efficient here in the final 2 minutes. Got it in the middle. It's Stribling. And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup.
Well, this offense knew coming into this game they wanted to try to attack the middle of the field in the passing game, and they're able to execute the in route there.
Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Dropping back, it's Simmons. That's caught. It's Stribling. Works his way to the 41, and that is plenty to give him a 1st down.
Well, the defense did a nice job taking everything away down the field, but once the drag route was caught, they just couldn't rally to the ball carrier in time to make a tackle, and as a result, new set of downs.
They'll put it in play from the 41 on 1st down. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. Oh, he's got some space. Oh, and what a move, what a juke, and he makes it past the marker.
1st down, physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football, create balance, and right here just choose up another 1st down, gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got a burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it. And right now, he's doing some damage on this defense.
And winning 1st downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on 1st down that they're going to run the football. So then getting that big chunk, getting in 2nd and short, not a good job by this defense.
And that is just an attitude run, running it right up the middle, right into the teeth of that defense.
And the Rebels will have it 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Complete with conviction on the crosser. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line.
Well, this defense is being challenged, and this secondary in particular. And I know a DB made the tackle there, but we're only in the second quarter, and already this quarterback has over 200 yards passing.
On 1st and 10, trying to strike from the 15. He'll do it himself. Headed to the end zone. He's all the way down to the 3. Showed it all on that run. They'll immediately call timeout.
And this QB is dialed in. You've already seen the passing ability to make plays down the field. But how about this? Running the option as well. The diversity in this offense, really hard to stop, and he's having a day.
It's complete on the right side. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. They'll use a timeout right before halftime. Maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays. And here on 2nd down, they'll send out the field goal unit to try to get 3 before the break. And he'll try it from the right hash, and the angle shouldn't be too bad from this distance. And this one is perfect. And that lead grows even bigger.
And that's not the way they wanted to end the drive, but nice job being ready and your field goal kicker coming through and putting 3 points on the board.
That late-in-the-half field goal always gives you a little boost going to the locker room, and they'll need to finish off these final few seconds and not allow them to answer. From inside his own 15, looking for a crevice. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Thanks, guys. A memorable first half of football so far today at Oxford. And it's clear the aerial attacks of both teams have been relentless. They've been burning each of these secondaries like toast. Just an assault on the defensive game plans, if there even were defensive game plans. Gotta think, fellas, based on the first 2 quarters, we're going to see every route in the route tree again in this second half. And with that, let's head back to the Grove at our fellas at Vaught Hemingway Stadium.
The Rebels will kick it away to start the second half. From inside the 10, here he comes. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. A lot of field in front of them as they open this possession from their own 20. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
And coming out in the second half, this offense, they needed to establish this run game. They needed to get something going. They're losing. They've got to find a way to get a flow, to get a rhythm. And so far here to start this second half, defense picking up where it left off.
To the air on 2nd down. Got it set up on the outside. No, sirree, not this time. The defense was there and ready for that one.
Those screen passes, I want those defensive linemen to run right up the field, and I want to throw it right over their head where I got some space and I can get my running back going. That is the opposite of what happened right there. There was no space. He couldn't even get going.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Unloads to the wideout. And the missed connection on 3rd down.
That's a frustrating start for this offense. At halftime, you know you're down. You got to come out. You got to create some energy, some momentum, get this side of the ball cooking, and you go 3 and out, and you punt the football. But now you're going to rely on your defense. You got to get the ball back, string some stops together while we're trying to figure out the offensive side of the football.
Punt is in the air. Hauls it in at the 40. That's a perfect example of not settling for a fair catch. Pick up whatever yardage you can and help out the offense. Dropping back, it's Simmons. Pressure coming. And the Heat gets home. They knock him down back at the 45.
I think going into halftime trailing, this defense knew that they were going to have to start making plays here in the second half. And early in the 3rd quarter here on this drive, they get a sack. That is really good news for this defense.
And the Rebels have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Now the play fake. The short hands, it's Ray. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first.
I like the slot receiver because he gives his quarterback a good option working the middle of the field. He's a nice weapon in this offense.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Makes the grab. He gets the job done on 3rd down. They move the chains. It's at the 37. 3rd down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who do you trust the most.
Yeah, it's Jimmy's and the Joes, and when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide and I know I trust you, I'm finding you.
Under fire. And the defense getting the quarterback down at the 44. The defense coming up big there, and the sack is great, but the secondary deserves some credit too.
No doubt. When you can cover like that in the secondary and drop back in your zone and only rush a few, and you feel comfortable getting home and they're going to get to the quarterback, that is a great feeling, and that's fun to be a defensive coordinator calling the plays.
The Rebels with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. To the air, it's Simmons. Finds his tight end. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks.
Yeah, this defense is going to have a plan for this tight end, especially when he lines up in the slot, because there's a lot of different routes he can run, and because of his size and his wingspan, he's very, very difficult to cover.
A 3rd down play coming from the 32 as they try to keep the drive going. Makes a stop in the backfield. He'll lose 4.
And you're seeing on both sides really hard to run the football in this one. You've got to give both of these defenses tons of credit. They are so physical up front. These defensive lines can take the game over, and right now it's tough sledding on the ground.
And the Rebels will try to pin them back with the punt. They've been busy out there to punt for the 5th time today. What a great job on that kick, bouncing it out of bounds inside the 10. First play of the drive will come from the 9-yard line. They'll try the left side. Finds a little space. Not much there. He gets 1 to the 11.
And a lot of times you want those big plays. You want those splash plays, but sometimes you're going to take some losses. You're not going to run the football overly well, but if you continue to run it, you can at least create some balance. You at least have the threat of it. Otherwise, you're just going to abandon it, and now it's just going to be a passing game.
They'll keep it on the ground. And how about that play by that giant, that mountain of a man on the defensive front?
Well, it's a negative play trying to run the football, and I think if you're on offense, you got to be thinking about throwing it now. You're trailing by a lot. You got to get back in this game. You need tempo, and you need explosive plays through the air.
Third and long, and he'll try to throw for it. They've got the screen set up. Didn't have much room to run and not a whole lot of help. Short game there and still plenty of ground to cover for the first down.
Well, they weren't able to gain a lot of real estate on that last completion deep down in their own end. If anything, if you're looking for a silver lining, I guess the punter maybe has a little bit more room to try to get one off now on 4th.
The Monarchs will bring the punt team onto the field. He'll call for the fair catch here. They'll get this drive started from their own 45-yard line. Coming out on first down with the play fake. Makes the grab. It's Wallace. Turning it on. Found enough room to get it into enemy territory. They're down at the 43-yard line.
The defense has got to be able to make a play at some point here in the second half. You're down 2 possessions. You need to steal a possession badly. You need to have a takeaway. The coverage is going to have to be way tighter than on that last throw. Otherwise, this offense is just going to go up and down the field.
Off play action. Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49.
And if your job is to irritate, to confuse, to hit, to make quarterbacks feel very uncomfortable, this defense is definitely doing their job. 6 sacks, that's the way to make the quarterback feel like he's having a hard day. He's had no response. This offensive line has no response, just a sack party.
The Rebels trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Back to throw, it's Simmons. Nice defensive play to get a hand in there and knock it away.
Zone coverage that time, and the cornerback, a nice job with his eyes. He's watching the quarterback. He sees the ball thrown, so he knows exactly when to break on it. He's able to break it up for an incompletion.
And the Rebels are in a mess here on 3rd and a mile. From the gun, wants to pass. Deep shot for the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss. They went for it all, and it paid off with the score.
Man, that's a play this kid has been running ever since he was 7 years old at the park with his best friend, throwing them go routes right down the field. I'm running by a guy, I'm looking back, locating the football, making the catch, and he does it in a big moment here in this game.
They'll try to add another to their lead. Well, you could draw a line in the middle, and he would have hit that thing. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And they finish the drive with a touchdown toss from the 49. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. They'd love to put a long drive together here as they start from their own 21. He's got an open man. Good call, good execution as they move the chains, and they have a first down at the 38. They've done a really good job creating the matchups they want out of the slot.
Yeah, dude, get that guy matched up on a linebacker. That guy matched up on a safety. Keep him away from the corners by putting him in the slot. Get him the football. Let him make plays.
The give to the back. Not much to show for it. This defense has kept them bottled up all day.
And after your defense just went out there and gave up a touchdown and let them build the lead more, you really need to come out with this drive and answer. And the running game is not in. They were ready for that. Going to have to create some explosive plays through the passing game.
And the Monarchs now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. He'll pull it on the read. This defensive front just ran free in the backfield. He'll lose 3.
Man, the momentum is squarely on their side right now. It's starting to feel like they're running away with this one. They scored a touchdown their last time out. Now on this drive here in the 3rd quarter, the defense makes a massive play against the run, creating a negative play. They've got the opponent going backwards.
On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. That's reeled in. It's locked. He stopped short of the 40, right at the 39, and it's 4th down. The Monarchs will send out the punt unit. They make the stop, and that is exactly what you want out of your punt cover unit. They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. Grabbed in the middle, it's Haas. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down.
That RPO play was run to perfection. The run fake forced and sucked the defense up, and a nice job on the route by the receiver, not telegraphing that he was breaking to the inside on the slant.
The Rebels with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. The inside handoff. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
Here's the thing. I know this guy's not going to win the Heisman Trophy, but he's a pretty talented football player that's made big plays for this offense in the past. They have not had any success when they've given him chances so far in this game. And in the third quarter, you're getting a little nervous, I think, if you're the head coach, because he's a guy you need to have success if you're going to win.
To the air, it's Simmons. Grab near the marker, it's Haas. Out across the 45 and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. A big pickup here as they try to put together a scoring drive.
To be honest, I think the quarterback was a little bit surprised himself at the play call that came in that time. You've got a 3-possession lead here in the third quarter of this game. You're probably expecting some short throws, some runs. And this play caller is still asking for shot plays. And listen, you're the quarterback. You're happy to oblige when you've got the playmakers you have offensively. Just keep shut.
Breaks into the open. Nice pickup on the ground there. They'll move the sticks with the first down.
Definitely been tough sledding for this guy, especially in the first half. They gave him the ball a bunch, but they just don't have a ton of yards on the ground to show for it at this point. That looked like a pretty good run, though. You just wonder maybe in the second half, if they keep giving him the football, it may start paying some dividends.
He unleashes a long one. Touchdown, Rebels! And the route is on. He has been surgical. Precision passes, using the scalpel, the fine instrument, rather than the blunt one.
And the defense has had absolutely no answer for it. Just, he's been down their throats all game long, a step ahead, understanding what he's seeing, and just destroying this defense.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point was good as they finished the drive. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they get it into the end zone on a 36-yard touchdown pass. They're set to kick it off. You think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. First play of the drive comes from the 22. Off the play fake on first down. Hauls it in. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a first down.
I know the offense is down by a lot here in the second half. You just need one big play, though, to spark the offense, get the confidence going, and they may have found it right there in that completion. Good throw, good catch. Now we got to keep it going.
Trying play action. Pocket breaking down. Man, did he pay for it with that hit as he got rid of the ball.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with play action for this offense, but, man, you got to protect. You got to sell that run. And if the quarterback's going to do that, he needs his guys up front to give him a little bit more time to maybe take those shots down the field and make some big plays for this offense.
Second down, they'll go to the air. They're setting up the screen.
Love the execution there on the screen. The running back shows pass protect, pass protect. Last second turns around, so he's able to get the ball. The D linemen have already run past him. Now he can turn upfield for a big gainer.
And the Monarchs lining up, just needing a few tough inches on third down. Tries to slither forward on the sneak. That'll be enough for a first down as he crosses the 50 and gets it to the 48.
And, David, on 3rd and inches right there, that's often a decision the quarterback predetermines. Who's my best guard? That's the guy I'm going to try to get behind.
And I know that defensively, too, but I'm just trying to dive and create a pile, but it's so hard to stop that play. That's why you see it ran so successfully.
Motion from the back. To the air on first down. Fires to the wideout. Got him downfield. There he goes. And he'll take it in and house it. Touchdown, ODU. Sometimes we ask coaches about halftime adjustments, and they go blah, 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 blah. And then sometimes they make some good ones.
Sometimes that blah, 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 blah actually works, but it's working now. But it might be too little too late, but at least you got the party started.
Ready to try the point after.
On for the extra point.
Bangs it through for an extra point. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And the capper coming on that 48-yard touchdown dart. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. They come to the line for the first play of the drive, snapping it from the 21. Looking to throw, it's Simmons. Throwing right. It's caught. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a first down.
You know, you're seeing in college football now with spread offense and tempo and air raid, we're seeing more and more 400-yard days, but I can't remember the last time I've seen one look as impressive as this guy has played today, David. He has been on fire.
And it's so annoying now because all the quick game is so good, and you take shots when you get matchups, and you see tight ends now that move like wide receivers and running backs that move like receivers. There's so many ways that quarterbacks can hurt you now, and he showed all of it today.
Well, it's important in this game this offense gets the running back involved out on the perimeter in space where he can do some damage. That time they got it to him throwing the football. He picked up a couple of yards, but it gives the defense something to think about.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Caught in the backfield. It's Lee. He knew exactly where he wanted to go with that one, and they've got enough for the first down. And this is sort of like a pinball machine. The numbers keep ticking up. He's closing in on 450 yards.
Yeah, Reese, and there's no defense for perfect throws, and that's what this guy's been delivering all game long. You know, the coverage hasn't always been awful, but this guy just finds a way to thread the needle.
Just keep slinging it. With the catch, it's Lee. Tackle is made at the 27. Let's give him 10 yards on the play, and it is enough for a first down. And the Rebels come to the line with a new set of downs. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Wide open downfield. They'll get him stopped just short of the end zone, but they're in business here with a first down.
And man, this quarterback is on fire this drive. They've run 5 plays offensively. He's thrown it all 5 times. He's 5 for 5, and now he has him down here on the goal line. Why not go 6 for 6 with a tutty?
The Rebels will try to punch it in on first and goal. Powers forward. Touchdown, Ole Miss! And the beatdown has ensued. Try to add another to their lead. And he makes the extra point. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they finish it off with a short plunge into the end zone. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So they start this drive from inside their own 20 at the 19-yard line. On the move, it's Roach. Not much there. Picks up a couple to the 22.
The run game just has not been working for this offense all game long. You saw it on that last play as well. Just not getting enough push up front on the offensive line. They haven't been physical.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. The play action fake. Here's a heat. Oh, and he took a shot as he threw that one away.
The offensive line has got to give him at least a little bit of time to survey the field. He had no chance that time, getting hit almost immediately after he got the ball.
Now facing a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Lofts one high and deep. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
This is a point where you just got to be able to focus. The critical down and distances in this game, like that 3rd down right there. When it's a good throw, you got to make the catch. You got to be able to make that play.
The Monarchs decide to punt it away.
Formation to kick it away.
Little pressure on the coverage team there, and they'll stop him at the 47-yard line. Good field position to start this drive at their own 47. The give to the tailback. They keep feeding him in this running game, and the defense is having none of it. It's been that way all day. Talk about spreading the ball around. Everyone getting a chance to show off the hands based on the number of targets we've seen. One more quarter to go, and it looks as if we are ready to play. They had a chance to mull things over. Let's see how they start the final period here on 2nd down. Off the play fake. Throws to the wideout. And he got a hand in there. Knocks it away. Incomplete.
Yeah, and a really good job by the defender understanding the ball's coming. I got to break on it and go and not try to intercept it and make a bad play. He swats it down and makes sure that's an incompletion.
It'll be 3rd and long. Looking to throw at Simmons. Gets it out fast. That's not quite going to be enough as they stop him 4 yards short of the marker.
47-yard line. Now, a 4th down.
And the Rebels send out the punt unit. They're up to a half dozen kicks today. And the punt hits ground at the 2 and goes into the end zone. He just missed, hitting them right in the shadow of the goalpost. It'll come out to the 20. Leaves it with the back. And he's able to bounce off one tackle for a solid pickup.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
And the Monarchs can really attack on this 2nd and short. Handoff from the gun. Very little running room, if any, and he just hasn't had anywhere to go in this one.
And that's how you respond as a defense, man. You give up 9 yards on 1st down. 2nd down, man, they bring some pressure. They are in the backfield fast, and they make the tackle for a loss and completely flip the script. Almost a guaranteed 1st down on 2nd down, and now maybe even put them in a passing situation on 3rd down.
And they're not on the same page there.
And it's going to be difficult for this offense, man. Just where are they going to find the plays? You can tell the defense sitting back. They're playing nickel. They're playing dime. So you need some receivers to step up, make some yards after the catch, some contested plays. This offense has got to do something, and they got to do it quick.
Down in the 4th quarter, it's too late for empty possessions. They'll go for it on 4th down. Breaks the tackle. He is stopped short, and they'll turn it over on downs. Just a crushing blow at this point in the game. Taylor has it. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
It's going to be tough sledding for the offense here. They're trying to ice this game by running the football and bleeding the clock. They've got a pretty good lead here late in the game, but the defense knows the run's coming, right? So they're going to be loading the line of scrimmage, getting stops like what they just did. Be interesting to see what the offense does on this next one.
Looking downfield, it's Simmons. Unloads to the wideout. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense.
Yeah, and you just wonder if the defense now is taking out some frustration. Obviously, they've been getting lit up all over the place. And that time, they finally gave it back to the offense there. Really nice, big, clean hit. This defense needs a little bit more of that as the game goes on.
On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. Got it behind the line. It's Diggs. There is nowhere to go. He has stopped, and it'll be 4th down from the 23. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. So here comes the field goal unit once again. They've already kicked 3 tonight. And this one will be a 40-yard try from the left hash. It's good. He hit that one right down the middle. And that'll add 3 more to a lead that is already way out of hand.
And they just tack on more points to this big lead. Listen, 4th quarter was sitting extremely pretty. All we got to do, not give up big plays, make them earn everything they get the rest this way, and we looking pretty good.
They're really starting to extend that lead as they get ready to kick it away again. On the move from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. They'd love to put a long drive together here as they start from their own 21. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. Got his man. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
I love offenses and quarterbacks that are willing to take the easy stuff. Take those easy throws that are guaranteed to get positive yards. Yeah, I'm going to take big shots down the field too. But don't forget, it's easier to pick up 2nd and 5, 3rd and 5 than it is when we start getting those long yardage situations.
Using his legs, it's Roach. It continues to be a long day as they are just swarming every time he gets the ball.
The number 1 goal for this defense coming into this game was shut this running back down. And I got to be honest, there were a lot of people on the outside didn't think they could get it done, but they're proving everybody wrong. Tremendous effort. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. This guy's one of the best in the nation. He's had 0 impact in this game.
Crosses the 40. At the 45 on his way. He's pushed out of bounds inside the 40 at the 38, and these guys are on the move.
And man, nobody home on defense. We've got to understand the option starts with the quarterback. Somebody has to have that guy. The defense blows an assignment, and the quarterback takes advantage and makes the big play down the field.
The Monarchs just got that huge run. They'd love another explosive play. From the shotgun, the inside give. He's all the way down to the 27-yard line, and they are threatening.
A huge gain. Probably would have loved to say this earlier in the game. Probably would have loved to have some of these runs and have a little bit more success running the football earlier. Now, I might think about maybe cranking the tempo and probably, if I'm going to need these runs, I'm going to need to go ahead and score on these runs, or I'm going to need to start chucking the football.
Right back to the well. Defense holds their ground. Pickup of a yard. It's at the 26.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Back to pass. Here comes the heat. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming.
At this point of the game in the 4th quarter, it is going to be tough for this offense to get some completions here because now, trailing by this much, the defense is expecting pass, and they're putting a whole bunch of extra DBs on the field to help them out in coverage.
He'll keep it himself.
And, man, they sneaked the option in there on 3rd and long. And I don't know, was that a misread? Like, do you get the ball to it was pretty well defended. They had the quarterback swallowed up. He got some yards, but now you're forced into a 4th down, and this might.
They can't come up empty on this drive in the 4th quarter. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. And it's incomplete, the long pass on fourth down. Off play action on first down. Fires to the wideout. A strike downfield. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks. And at this point, the defense looks as if they've been in one of those dizzy bat races. They've got no idea where the ball's coming from. He's over 500 yards passing.
Yeah, this is a Heisman Trophy level performance from this guy. The accuracy, the decision-making, the athleticism, everything has been on display.
Got it in the middle, it's Lee. And he's brought down after a huge completion. Some might have the philosophy to milk the clock. Others have this philosophy. Just keep going at them.
Until you stop me. And I think the offense, you can tell, it's pretty clear. They're going to keep their foot on the gas, continuing to throw the football down the field, attack, make big plays like they have all game long.
They'll give it to the back. He's pulled down after a tough run, gets it to the 6.
And what you see late in games, man, those teams that can really run the football and run that clock when they got a lead, you really win a lot more football games. So I think you look for them to be physical down the stretch of this game, try to continue to do this on the ground, continue to eat that clock.
Looking downfield at Simmons. Got it! Into the end zone! Touchdown, Rebels! If this dude were a kitchen knife, he would be slicing tomatoes so thin your in-laws would never come back to your house.
Well, that'd be a good thing. I don't know if I want my in-laws to come back anyways, but he's been on fire. He's been absolutely torching this defense. They've had absolutely no answers for him.
Attempt the try.
Kicker is on for the extra point.
The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And they get it into the end zone with a 6-yard touchdown pass. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. First snap of this drive will come from their own 17. Sets up the screen. And he never had a chance. As soon as he caught it, the defense was right there.
Hey, on offense, you got to know when the play's over. That one there, nowhere to go with it after he caught the football. You start trying to juke guys, you start trying to run backward. This ain't high school anymore. And you used to be able to make that play years ago. You're not doing it here in big-time college football, though. Not good.
Grabbed in the backfield, it's Butler. And an adverse tackle, giving up size, still got him on the turf.
Short throws turn into long games because of his ability after the catch. It's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And a pickup of better than 30 yards on that completion before the defense brings him down.
And this offense has got to kick it in high gear now. Making a big play, that is great, but we got to go up-tempo. We got to go fast. We're trailing big in this ball game. We got to put a lot of drives together and maybe even get lucky with an onside kick.
And the Monarchs will have it 1st and 10. Quarterback on the keeper. Picks up the first down. And he's brought down after a nice game.
As sometimes as a quarterback, you just need to take the game over yourself. You need points to win, and it's going to come down to you throwing it or maybe running it like you just saw there to get that done.
The Monarchs have their offense in high gear. Wants to throw on first down. Got his man. Stopped and forced out of bounds at the 21-yard line, just outside the red zone, and they are looking to get one in here.
And that's good enough for a first down.
From the 22 on 1st and 10. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Finds his big tight end. That one takes it down to the 13-yard line. Just a quick rhythm throw there and really good use of the tight end.
Yeah, good use of the big fella. I mean, go through your progressions real quick. You can't find anything. Get the easy gain. Don't take a shot down the field all the time. Take those shots later, but take those easy, wide-open opportunities to get some positive chunks.
Leaves it with the running back. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
It's a backbreaker if you're the offensive coordinator, because on the 1st down, you ran the ball, had a really nice gain. Short yardage situation, you just get completely blown up, and now you're having to probably dial up a throw on 3rd down. You need more consistency from the guys up front.
And the Monarchs really need to keep this drive alive on 3rd down. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. Grab near the sticks. It's locked. Works his way to the 4-yard line, and they'll have it 1st and goal.
Perfect timing to call that pass play. It's 3rd and short down here in the red zone. Everybody in the stadium expecting you to run the football, and if you don't get a field goal, maybe you go for it on 4th. You don't have to worry about that now. Because of the pass completion, it's 1st and goal.
Around the corner, it's Jones. And he'll be stopped for no gain, still sitting at the 3-yard line.
And just a great job by the defense being stout, right? That's your job. Be stout up front, stuff in the run play, make them get in more passing situations, but do not let them run the football. That's 101. Stop the run first.
And they want this defense spread out across the width of the field, 5 wide on 2nd and goal. Wants to go up top. Going for 6. Touchdown, Old Dominion. Fitted in the window for the score.
And this has been a rough day for this offense, and finally, some good things to happen. Build some momentum maybe for the future. You know, that's the way that coaches spin it when you're getting beat up and you're getting destroyed. Like, listen, let's find something for the future. Let's keep fighting. Let's keep working. This team's done that, put some points on the board, so it's not all bad.
Lining up to add another.
The kicker on for the extra point.
The kick is good, but the penalty flag indicates we've got a roughing the kicker call coming.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. If you can do that, I don't know why you don't do it every time. Reduce the risk. Banged it out of the back of the end zone. They'll put it in play at the 25. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18.
That is now the 7th sack on defense. This offense cannot protect their QB. It doesn't matter if the defense is blitzing or if they're just winning one-on-one. 7 sacks? That's just ridiculous.
The Rebels have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Back to throw, it's Simmons. Going to try to get it himself. He turns this into a nice gain and gets down to avoid the hit.
Well, I think you're seeing a lot of resiliency from this quarterback these last couple of plays. Got sacked on 1st down. It's 2nd in California. And that last scramble, I know it didn't get the first, but it at least makes this 3rd down a whole lot more manageable now. Let's see if he can make a play here and keep his offense on the field.
Off the RPO, quick throw to the right. Still on his feet at the 45. And another big game for this offense. They are putting explosive pass after explosive pass up in this one.
I don't know if they're trying to get this guy Heisman consideration, but the fact that they're still throwing the ball at this point of the game with a lead like they have is surprising, I gotta be honest.
And the Rebels, after ripping off that huge run, let's see if they can do it again. Caught behind the line. It's Hobbs. Makes the stop at the 23-yard line, but it's a pickup of 15. A first down, and this offense is smelling the end zone. The Rebels are moving quickly down the field. He caught it. They make the tackle just outside the end zone, but it'll be first and goal.
An outstanding game, has taken care of the football. Now late in the game, you got the lead. That first down now tells me now it's time to start running the football, run the clock, get out of here with the dub.
And they're going to score again, yet another touchdown as they just add to their total. And at this point, they're just rubbing their noses at it.
There's nothing positive to be able to take away from this. You got beat down, you move on to the next game, start working on the next opponent. This one's over.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And he tacked on the extra point. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they capped it off with a 1-yard plunge. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score.
Set to kick this one away.
He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. This drive will start from the 19-yard line. They'll run the RPO and fire to the right. They'll guide him out of bounds down at the 25-yard line.
And this game is obviously out of hand. But I think the fans would argue, too, at this point, like, all right, well, let's not throw checkdowns, right? Let's throw some deep balls and continue to open up this offense and keep fighting. I think that's what you want to see. You want to see your squad not quit. Keep fighting until the very end of the football game.
This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
Yeah, it's a nice job by this defense. Understand, listen, that QB is a threat. And they're going to run all kinds of options, and he's going to run the football. They were dialed.
The Monarchs are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Looking to move the chains. They throw it complete to the left. He gets it past the 30, and they'll get him out of bounds at the 32.
There's a reason 3rd down is called the money down. What a great find by the quarterback. Great job finding his receiver. At the end of the game, you look at 3rd down percentages. It tells a huge story, and it goes a long way in deciding who wins a football game.
Rides the back and leaves it on the option. And he doesn't find much running room. A short gain on the play.
And this defense is more than happy with the offense running the football. They've done a great job today. I mean, they've really made this offense work so hard, earn everything they've gotten, and that's why this lead is ballooned like it has.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. He's got it on the right. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short.
I don't love the play call at this juncture in the game. You're down. You've got to take shots. The defense is not going to be blitzing, so these screens probably aren't going to work.
And the Monarchs are at the line trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. On 3rd and short, the run and looking for the first down. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
That is how it's done on 3rd down and short. No doubt about it. An easy hole to get through and clearly get the first down.
If you really want to simplify football, the low man wins. That time the offense got the better of the D. Easily picked that up.
The Monarchs kept this drive moving on the ground. Now back to work. Takes a shot as he lets it go. And it slips through his fingers. Incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on.
And this is just one of those days, man, where everything has gone wrong, right? Like they just haven't been in a rhythm. They haven't got it going and never built the momentum. This is one of those days that you learn from, you try to grow from. A lot of things that we're going to show in the film room that people aren't going to like, but hopefully you can learn from it and do better next time.
Trying to set up the screen. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed.